Alright folks, we're back. Zombie had to BRB as well, but we are getting into the lobby here for what looks to be GuMiho versus herO first, then Alive versus Deer, and then the grand final. So best of 3, best of 3, best of 5. Got some resubs to get caught up on though real quick. Thank you very much to Jugu1, 15 months, says I don't know what to write, Sir W. Dude, Jugu1, if you're also a fan of Nathaniel's, I hope you check out the co-op video we did together. It's been posted on my YouTube. I don't know if it's or on BaseTradeTV's YouTube. I don't know if it's been posted on Nathaniel's YouTube. But yeah, we did some co-op last night, which was kind of cool on the new mutation or the new map that's coming out. Cloudy 0420 or 0420 dank resub or dank new sub. Excuse me. Thank you very much for joining us. Optional player hit us up for 22 months, saying only 22 months. Rip in peace. Dude, you know RIP stands for rest in peace, right? You can't rip in peace. God. And then Krugerson, yeah, we already got Krugerson for the Reaper, so awesome. Thank you so much, guys, for your continued support. Again, tonight's been a bit of a, I don't know, it's 3 a.m. That's all I can really say. Well, it's 5 a.m. now. RIP. There's the rip in peace. But Newkirk Precinct. Could have played the intro if I was paying more attention.
Okay. Yeah, you could have. I didn't know.
Woulda, shoulda.
Oh well.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, it's the semifinals for this week's Olimoleague. Spawning here in the bottom right, we've got the red Protoss player, herO.
In the bottom left is the blue Terran. He is GuMiho. That's pretty early SCV scout.
Yeah, scout with huge air quotes around it.
Yeah, maybe he saw that last series and is like, no, there's like no way he saw that last series. He's playing Leonok, but let's just say he was.
But that's what's funny because like it was the same map, the finale of the said series where this happened, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I think like this proxy out of Terran has a lot of strength, and all good things to be said about herO. He may have actually lucked out with his choice to proxy that game versus Innovation.
Oh yeah. I actually, so I'm kind of surprised that Innovation tapped out still, because I think that we've watched a lot of games, not like a lot, but a good like maybe half a dozen, and usually from the likes of GuMiho, because he likes to proxy versus Protoss, where they would get into those like really scrappy situations. Yeah, GuMiho would micro his heart out, you know, and it would go on for a very long time. I guess Innovation not having a medevac just tapped out super early or super easily, but now it's GuMiho going for that proxy factory as well. Yep, he is. Yeah, okay, so I think even if herO was proxying something, he still would commit to this. But herO's not proxying this game. He's trying to do a normal build, like a normal Protoss, and I might get punished for it.
I feel like normal goes in air quotes though, because this is not normal for herO, so it makes it abnormal.
Isn't that the thing? I mean, if there's a lot of things that can go better for a Protoss, even if they expand unknowingly to what the Terran is doing. You know, you can have your third pylon go in front of your Nexus as opposed to maybe like behind your mineral line. You can actually still chrono out your Adept, which he is doing, so that's like good news. Delays his warp gate a little bit though. You can chrono out your Mothership Core too, which is probably better, but he skips his Mothership Core for that Stargate, and I think that's a detriment, even if he's chronoing gateway units right now. That means when she does pop, because eventually you usually get one, right? But it's gonna have one overcharge and that's it.
Well, as the build progresses, you know, this is kind of the hard stop we saw for Innovation, but at the same time, we've seen the power of Cyclones versus Protoss early on. We can't talk about it. Like, nothing can really 1v1 the Cyclone that well, and this is where the power of this is going to shine through. Two Adepts can have a hard time, and let's not forget, well, Marines can't really be easily healed up or anything without the help of a medevac. That Cyclone can always get repaired by an SCV if this gets really down to it.
Yeah. Throws down that pylon. The natural just needs something for that overcharge.
I love what GuMiho is doing here, though. He's actually using the Marines to, well, first off, cover the Cyclone now, but he was trying to whittle away at the pylon with them so that it would be gone. The Cyclone chasing off the Adepts, which would be a lot easier for it to handle. Good control, great decision-making, but that pylon, not quite in range of anything.
Yeah,
as he gets baited closer and closer, it's worrisome, though. That Cyclone's low, but there's the SCV to repair!
Yeah. And, well,
brother!
medevac to micro, and even if he did lose that one cyclone, another one is still at full health. He's gonna lose it, but okay, almost got the cyclone.
Oh, there's the lock on. Really nice to kill that Oracle. That Nexus is really, really freaking low while this goes on too.
He's gonna go for the kill anyways. He'd kill herO if he got the Nexus, or if he just went to the main base and got this one single pylon. Uh-oh. Upsie. Medevac again can just micro that cyclone, even if the probe's got a surround on it.
I mean, they're trying to. It's their only option, but yeah, that's gonna be it.
Oh, this is what you want from a proxy.
The Void Ray is an interesting follow-up choice. This, by the way, it picks up and unloads with the Marines. Medevac still goes down, but this was pretty sick. It's caused so much damage. herO just doesn't come back from 2 probes, 1 probe. Like it doesn't matter if he cleans this up or not. This is the only probe left.
Yeah.
GG.
GG.
Oh. Guten Tag, Riamar.
Hi, Riamar.
It's been a while, man. I hope you're doing okay. I know you've had your fair share of problems lately, but thank you for the bits and that resub. 1,069 and a 34-month resub. Thank you so much, Riamar. But all right, so game number 1 goes pretty nicely in the favor of GuMiho. Again, like some of that, like when it comes down to proxy, like if we're gonna be real, there is luck involved when it comes to proxy sometimes. Like, are you lucky enough to have scouted it, even if you were smart enough to scout it? Were you also, like in hero's situation versus innovation, like lucky enough to have chosen to proxy when your opponent did? I mean, I say luck, and it's probably the wrong way to phrase that, but at the end of the day, like it just didn't work for herO, and for so many different reasons. So it's a lot easier just to attribute to like bad luck and say move on to the next game.
Yeah, it's probably the best thing to do for your mental state. Plock. Plock. I don't know what that is.
So we're waiting real quick. I hurt myself recently, guys, and you guys may have seen on Twitter the other day I cut a big gash in my leg. I went to the doctor. They gave me gauze and iodine or whatever the brown stuff is you clean it with. And then today I managed to hurt myself again, and I sliced open my finger pretty good with a knife. So I've got
my god!
I got this Band-Aid on it, right? But this is like really annoying me because it's right on the bendy part, and this is what I'm using to click the mouse with.
What were you doing that you cut it? Were you like opening a box?
No, actually, this is so stupid. I don't even want to tell you what I did. It was really dumb, but I basically, like, I'm a big clumsy guy. You know this. You've seen me in real life. And I just kind of slammed my hand into the corner of the fridge door or whatever, and it was hard enough that it just, like, sharp corner plus my soft skin did not make for a good combination.
Ew. Ugh. Well done.
So I'm just saying, if I die by the end of the week, guys, because let's be honest, that's the direction this is heading. Don't let Crank have any of my stuff. That's all I ask.
Who does get your stuff? Millie? Your cat?
I'm gonna go to the game now.
Well, if you give her all your stuff, then she can buy a new apartment.
Yeah.
And live happily ever after.
She's got 2 pieces of government issued ID ready to like present to the renter. It's gonna be like, God damn it, Zombie Crow.
That's where I was going with it.
Game number 2. Spawning here on the top right side, we got the red Terran player. It's gonna be Roots herO.
In the bottom left is the blue Terran. It's GuMiho.
Leoman hits us up with a 1,000-bit combination, but he also includes some emotes from one of my secret favorite waifus, Nikki. Dude, Leoman, I didn't know you were a Nikki Taylor fan. That's awesome.
That's a really weird emote, man.
Oh, she's a really weird person. It works out nicely. Yo, this girl actually dyed her hair like white lately. It looks so good. I love when people can pull that off properly. But anyways,
maybe her and I will meet each other at the dyed blonde hair club.
Well, it's not blonde though, so.
Dyed white, bleached hair club. There you go. That covers all bases.
Anyways, she plays League. I don't think you guys would get along.
That sounds pretty gross. Nah, just kidding.
Alright, so GuMiho, by the way, command center coming down. More importantly, building inside his own base, so not so much of a problem for herO round 2. You talked a little bit about this earlier. You know, what do you? I have differing opinions. Clearly, what are your thoughts on herO as far as like if this did come down to a macro game? This is just like both of them actually playing safe for the first like 5 to 8 minutes.
Oh, I think herO has a decent shot. herO's played really good PvTs in pure macro games. Like his decision making is still on point, and his if he gets like a warp prism, his micro and harassment's still really good too.
Okay. I mean, I'm not.
Okay.
I don't disagree with it. I was curious because for me, like again, seeing herO do a little bit different things, like go for Phoenixes and put emphasis on Stargate builds, in non-cheese manners, are what makes me like him because he has shown us time and time again, whether it's through his warp prism, whether it's through his Phoenix pickup, like control is his like greatest asset.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like it's gonna be a pretty normal opener into a third base. By the way, like. Probably into Phoenixes again. It worked out really well against Innovation in the games that didn't just abruptly end. So, in fact, one of the games they did abruptly end because you went Phoenix Adepts, 3 bases, and Innovation got stuck on a stasis trap. So, I imagine that's going to happen here. Now, GuMiho, he did a Command Center first build, so he's going to have a bit stronger of a first push. And that's something that herO's got to be afraid of. You consider that Abyssal game from Innovation. And he hit just before Resident Glaives and +1, and it looked pretty decent. That might happen again here with GuMiho pushing into herO's third.
And apparently I called herO Terran in the intro. Rip. That's where I would take a drink.
You know, if you would never mention it, the YouTube people wouldn't have no idea, maybe.
Really? They wouldn't have heard me do it just like everyone else did?
Shh. Maybe.
I gotta
now they're really gonna know.
You weren't very good at stealing cookies from the cookie jar, were you, as a child?
I didn't steal anything. No, that's not true. I stole a check once.
Like, I didn't steal anything. My butler gave it all to me.
Yes,
okay,
exactly.
Okay.
That's exactly what happened.
Oh, Leomin only subs the people for their emotes. Interesting.
Okay. Well. There floats your boat. Oracle gets pushed out, only killing 2 SCVs. That's terrible, though, because herO saves the Oracle, so all Gucci. That should have scouted what the build was, by the way, just based off of the lateness of the factory. That it wasn't only a 3-Rax build, but it was also a Command Center first 3-Rax build, so herO should know what's up,
Well, I mean, the
Smart
thing
guy.
is, he already took his third before even scouting, so this just ends up working out nicely for him. As he continues to build probes, of course, the question goes into what direction will he do following it. We got both the Twilight Council and the Robo coming down, and this is just kind of precautionary. Like, you're going to want to have the option for detection. You're going to want to have the potential for warp ins through a warp prism, but Chrono goes down on the Twilight Council before Resonating Glaives even begins. But looks like that +1 combines well with that.
He absolutely needs to get this as fast as possible. Now, the starport is actually being delayed to, like, even by like 15 seconds is kind of a big deal. It looks like, considering the starport has to finish and the medivacs have to pop out, Resident Glaives and +1 will be done. But it will also be a very strong push from GuMiho, so herO might not have that second round to help him out.
So that actually makes this a little bit weird for me because
Let's see.
the Void Ray coming out, I'm wondering if this is meant to catch medivacs, if this is meant to just catch a Liberator that comes in. Either way, he's expecting starport units when there's not going to be any. And the Void Rays
Eventually,
well, I mean, the thing is, the Void Ray is like one of the most expensive units that Protoss can go for, so just, it feels like a bit of a waste.
Well, I think what's, I don't know, it's, what's happening, he might be actually just so worried about the push that he's actually trying to get as many units as possible, because he still has to wait for gateways. He isn't getting his gases at his third base, maybe he doesn't need them, maybe he's intentionally pushing them off, but, I think he can actually afford this, plus all the gateways that he's getting now, and it's gonna still time out pretty well. Like, you're still gonna have a lot of gateways and a bit of cash behind it. You know, starting to bank like 700, 800 minerals to warp in Adepts as quickly as possible.
Oh, give me his attack. Actually, that's a lot of Marines just marching down the middle of the map.
With +1, that's herO's just shortly behind on it. So
I mean, he just saw this. I don't know. Sure, he goes for the revelation. I was gonna say that or a stasis trap. I mean, I don't think he'll get another innovation level stasis trap in this series in his life, even.
Yeah, that was one of the best stasis traps I've ever seen. Just like 90% of the army was caught in that. The adepts are warped in. Guardian Shield is ready to go, and GuMiho, he just like pounced with only the Marines. I don't know if herO was expecting this because there's also that drop in the main base.
The thing is, like, if he was able to actually catch up to the Marines with the adepts, they would clean this up pretty easily. The Void Rays also push off that drop pretty nicely too. Nice. So good, solid defense all around. Apparently. Double drops to the main. I mean, there's 3 Void Rays. This is a silly amount to see versus Terran, but this will absolutely Shrek any armored units like the Medivacs.
This is a pretty perfect response. I feel like maybe herO's just faced GuMiho before, just this type of player, as that was about as perfect as you can get it. Sure, you let the Marines go behind the mineral line, but still. Another Foot Archer's going to take care of the Marines, almost no problem. Void Rays still take care of small numbers of Marines okay, and this ends up being a pretty good defense. Now, GuMiho has a 3rd base. He has decent upgrades. He still has all this macro going on, so he's not out of the game yet, but I can almost guarantee that does so much more damage than any other Protoss.
Well, this is where the Void Rays are going to be so nice too. That Liberator coming in, easily cleaned up by this. Oh my god, rip.
There you
go. Alright, so worker supply might be even. Upgrades might not be that big of a difference, but it's 94 Protoss army to the 55, or excuse me, to the 56 of Terran. But the worst part about this is herO actually has really expensive units in the composition. If this was just 94 supply of adepts, you're like, you know what, a couple Widowmine shots, maybe some good positioning, and the Marines could actually take the fight. But the fact that there's Void Rays in this, that's going to really change things up. Medivacs are going to be gone from the fight. Tanks won't even matter. Liberators aren't going to do anything. Like, Void Rays are such a big deal, and as low as their damage might be, they're still good versus Terran.
It's kind of a cool mix-up. It definitely helped in the defense, and yeah, it is going to help in the offense too. But instead of Phoenixes, Void Rays.
He also just goofed up a little bit too with the Void Rays. I think he had them all in the same control group or something. He prismatically aligned a bunch that he didn't need to. So that's not cooldown now.
Probably what happened. They're still going to be apparently helpful.
Ooh.
Well, they should have been more helpful in taking out the Widowmine. There you go.
Yeah, I should have been the opportunity.
Oh well. But this Void Ray edition as opposed to Phoenixes turned out to be really cool. The mass amount of gateways for the mass amount of adepts working out too. He's finally getting his gas to his 3rd base and attacking beyond.
Alright, 8 gateways is actually some pretty strong warp ins. Void Ray is going to execute the Warp Prism into the main as well. I mean, the Void Ray is going to go down for this, but the adepts get in, and more importantly, that Warp Prism stays alive. So big warp in immediately coming in. This draws the army of GuMiho to the back, and rightfully so, but the question is, will that open a hole in the defense in the front? The adepts are trying to shade in, but they messed up? What is this? Oh, it's just going to the back? No, I think that was a mess up.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if they tried to go back and there was a mess up, and I think that was just him not expecting a wall, because there wasn't one. And then suddenly GuMiho looked at the supply depots, added one more on, and I can't break it now. It was already going to be questionable anyways. There's Widowmines, there's Liberators. He'd have to actually shade entirely through to do anything. So GuMiho holds against herO's kind of counter. Oh, daisy.
That was nice. Okay. Something he needed. herO, man, I don't know. Like, he knew there was a wall. That was so awkward with the adepts. I really don't know what that was about. But I also don't like chasing under the Medivacs like this because this... Well, actually, that'll chase GuMiho off. I was going to say, this just signifies that there's going to be nothing in the main if they're all underneath the Medivacs out here.
I think there was some assumption that herO is a smart enough guy to start warping in his main base. Which sometimes is correct and sometimes... Yeah, like, sometimes it's not, actually. Like, you do have opportunities where they... think their opponent's better than they are, and they miss out on good opportunities. But herO was warping in, and he had his potion overcharges. I mean, the last time GuMiho tried to drop in the main base, it didn't work out so well. So he's probably getting a little bit of flashbacks for that too. A bit of a back and forth game. Still commend herO on a pretty perfect defense against the push, but GuMiho also emergency defends against herO's push. And while herO does take a 4th base and starts his Colossus tech, and that's a little bit scary, GuMiho has a good army, decent upgrades, and, you know, just if he gets a good concave, he could still take on the Colossus, but these Colossus are starting to get a little bit worrying.
Oh boy, Liberators are about as good as Cyclones at killing Warp Prisms, it seems.
They're amazing.
Comes in, though. Blitzes down 6 SCVs, not bad.
yeah, Warp Zone does die. I think herO was going to try and pounce on GuMiho's army if they had it all pulled back, but it didn't.
This is interesting. Fleet Beacon is coming down right now with a second Stargate. I'm wondering if this is... I want to say Tempest, just for Liberators, but...
I mean, I'd say so. He's probably thinking that Liberator range is on the way.
Oh,
so
God. You know what? The reason he's got to do this is he doesn't have the investment in Stalkers to make this worthwhile. He's making a bunch now as we speak, but...
Right, he does have Blink, and he's starting to make them, but absolutely. And there's, like, I think he just thinks GuMiho's going to have 8 Liberators in range soon enough, but...
that
he doesn't, he has 4. It still was a decent concave for GuMiho into a decent flank from herO.
He loses his Colossus, which is really unfortunate, but he does deal a ton of damage to GuMiho. Difference is, GuMiho's the one with the army supply. That dominates this game, sitting here on so much. It's been really topsy-turvy, and we've seen this flip around all over the place.
Shakur, what are you doing? Yeah, get back on that main base.
Yeah, the recall was actually necessary. I like that he did that. If he tried to fly that back, it would not have made it in time. But no, overcharges are going off. Mothership Core.
It wasn't making it in time. Whoopsie,
what the frick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely looking somewhere else. That was a mistake right there. And GuMiho's starting to get advantages. He does... herO does bring back their army supply a bit more to even. Oh, this is going to help as well. Very nicely done there. But for a second, it looked like GuMiho might start to, the ball rolling as it was, but no.
He's
holding on.
He's moving to Disruptors, which I think is really cool. This is really great at dealing with Liberators. A lot better than Colossus, or at least you get to sit from far, far away. But outside of that, we also just haven't seen great Disruptor usage. I mean, I really am not trolling when I say, like, M. Canny, the North American player. This is like, I don't know what it is. He's just taken everyone else's Disruptor skill and absorbed it and stolen it from them. It's like the plot to Space Jam.
A lot of Protosses are, and this is kind of weird to me, like, they don't go up to 4 Colossus, they go up to 3.
I've noticed that. That's very consistent.
He's lost 2, so that, that seems like it's his reason, but no, it's been a lot of Protosses staying at 3, and then going into Disruptors, so, yeah, Disruptors, not too surprised, but I agree, they just have not been that great from any of the Protosses you get to see on a daily basis.
This is GuMiho trying to initiate a base trade, and I don't know that I agree with this. I just... There's so much Protoss already in his base before he's even really touched much more than the probe lines. Warpin's going to take care of the drop, excuse me, is that English, but coming in the front side, where are those Disruptors? They've got to still be available, right?
He's not having a hotkey. They're just going to die. That's unfortunate.
Well, I mean, Terran can lift their buildings, and maybe GuMiho will do something cheeky just like that. I don't actually know if there's any spots on the map you can hide, though. Maybe in these corners.
I think I was gonna say that specific part right there. But yeah, GuMiho, down almost 60 army supply, does have upgrades on his side for now, but +3's finishing, so not even.
herO did manage to get probes out too, and they've got enough money to build a Nexus, so maybe not quite the end of the world for him in terms of his base. He continues to hold on with a couple of Stalkers and Adepts. Warping and more Zealots actually might be a problem. That eats into his potential recovery even.
Yeah, that's his Nexus building. I guess he figures he's going to be able to save at least one base, and I don't think he's wrong with that. There's just so few Terranians left over. Yeah, he's going to come back home. He could come back home with half of his army and still be able to defend the Nexus, because GuMiho's been flying around every which way. Kills a base before he goes. No? I thought his Stalkers at least come back. This could be a problem, as GuMiho's going to actually target down those Zealots and Adepts, and now he's going to get that Nexus. And, well, that's something that I thought herO was banking on saving.
No, I'm pretty sure herO's got this, to be honest.
Yeah, I still think he has it. I just don't know if losing Nexus was necessarily needed.
The funny thing is, though,
Lord.
he does have the money to build a new one.
Oh, yeah, he does. It's totally over. That medevac going down. God.
Yeah. It's funny because here's the one who's getting the base reveal warning, but really it's not an issue. Where the probes still in the corner, or where'd those guys go?
GuMiho definitely saw what the army looked like. I'm surprised he's still trying to stay in this game.
He's just gonna replace this base. That's pretty smart.
Yeah. I guess I'm only somewhat surprised GuMiho is trying to stay in this game. GuMiho is
this is like tilting, man. Yeah, like GG. He's pulling his command center to the side. He's getting a little bit cheeky. herO gonna tie up the series now 1-1. But because we don't want to make these guys wait, we're just gonna cut the small talk, go to an ad break, and get into game number 3 as soon as possible. Stick around, guys. All right, folks, we're back, and looks like Belshire Vestige is going to be the third map of the series. So go to the intro. See you guys soon. All right, folks, we're in game number 3. We're about to see the conclusion of this series. One of the players will move on to the grand finals. The other will simply fall out of the tournament. In the bottom right, double checking the color and double checking the race. He is, in fact, the red Terran, GuMiho.
The top left.
Bugger.
As the blue Protoss, he is Root's herO.
Alright, so SCV building barracks in pretty odd spot. I think he missed the front of his ramp. That was a joke.
Yeah, I get it.
No, that wasn't the type of joke you laugh at. No, you made it weird.
Oh, sorry. I'll fix it.
I can do
Keep it
better.
the pieces. Keep it the pieces.
I can do
All right.
better.
herO does scout this and can even maybe. No, can you kill the SCV? Oh no, I don't think he can get it. In fact, she's gonna give up. I'm not gonna try.
That's interesting though, because I think it'd be worth staying on the SCV, because you know this doesn't lead to just a barracks. This is usually a factory follow-up to it, but this time around, maybe because it got scouted, GuMiho's actually just going to go for the Reaper, and that's going to be good enough for him. herO also not wanting to dick around and waste time, because he himself would like to go for a proxy. But this means GuMiho, if he builds a factory at home, should be so much better off, and this won't look like the innovation game.
Yeah, it won't. I mean, just by scouting the proxy, it does deter the Terran from proxying further. So in a way, I like almost wish that herO just like tried to hide his probe, but we don't know if GuMiho was going to do that or not. It could have been a this plan all along.
By the way, we had Lofi Bredicus hit us up with a 5-month raise sub. Sorry if we missed that. And anyone else who may or may not have missed today. Twitch Alerts has updated fully to Streamlabs now, so it's kind of weird and not working the greatest, to be honest. But anyways, 2 probes get picked off. Might have been able to go as high as 4 if you really want to get down and dirty, but just runs away with the Reaper instead.
This should be very suspicious. Yeah, a Cyclone should come. I think Cyclone's going to be the better option, as it's more of a catch-all. The Mine pops off once, maybe gets the Oracle, maybe gets a Probe, maybe gets an Adept, but there's everything else to deal with, so... this is looking quite good for GuMiho, I would say. Oh, he's proxying his starport? Really?
Over here. I was like, that's kind of a funny follow-up, I guess. Because if he gets in there with a Banshee, it'll actually do pretty nice damage. Hell, I would even argue a landed Viking could be formidable.
Just a Liberator is actually fine. There's no pylon on the back of the mineral line because he's putting them all over here.
Yeah, actually, I don't know why I didn't think of the Liberator for that, but the Cyclone should be able to kill this pylon.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of cool.
Easy,
I mean, yeah, I think a Cyclone gets the pylon anyway, but have the SCVs pair to repair.
It's actually a good thing the Mothership Core broke the lock-on, because now he's got off cooldown for the Oracle, which, granted, again, it's kind of a pain to deal with, but second Cyclone pops out in a second. These Adepts won't be a problem. Even if another Overcharge does come down, 2 Cyclones can tear through this pretty quickly. I'm really not worried for GuMiho here.
GuMiho even went for 2 barracks as opposed to a second command center. I think he'd win either way with 2 Cyclones, but he should really have enough production. Or he just went for 1 more barracks, so the one floated back, but you get my point.
So annoying the way you lose your supply to this.
It does suck. What is that coming out of a starport? It is a Liberator, so he just needs to get into a decent position, but even then, I guess the Mothership Core doesn't have any energy, so he can just siege up on a pylon and not give a fuck. These Oracles had to abandon ship.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, like the best way to guarantee you get the hits isn't actually hit the mineral lines, hit where they're all coming back to from said mineral lines. Cancels the pylon because he needs the money. herO, I guess the Void will eventually come home and clean this up. But damn, he's losing so much money. Like, he's literally on no income while this happens. So look at oh my god, look at the income graph. Oh.
Pretty sure herO's pretty rip here. He does cancel a couple of probes to build his production, so he's trying to keep up with the game. But right, like you can't keep up if you have no mining.
I mean, the Void Ray finally comes back in, but that's a solid almost like minute of in-game time where he's not mining. GuMiho, like, to give you guys
damage.
To give you guys better context to this, GuMiho just basically could have built 3 command centers and been perfectly fine. Like, that's the type of lead he just got from that. Obviously, he's building more armor units, and he needs armor units, etc., etc. But medevac pumps out to fly home.
Yeah, it should be able to. It's pretty
go
good
SCV,
for
go
GuMiho.
SCV, go.
Not just because GuMiho did a good defense first and foremost, but because he also just like scouted herO's intention. He scouted the additional gateways being put down. He knows that he just has to play a safe game and he'll win. So while it still seems a little weird to have both players on one base, it's gonna favor GuMiho.
Oh, absolutely. Not to mention the fact that he's actually getting tech too. This is, I think, the biggest detriment to herO behind this. Like, there really isn't the money to go for Blink, much less the Twilight Council even. And yeah, the starport's gonna burn, and that kind of sucks. Widowmine gets one of the oracles on the other side of the map. Cyclone could lock on and kill the other if he's paying more attention, but 2 cyclones were brought across the map, and I really don't know that anything will stop them. There's even if the Mothership Core is home with these stalkers, 2 cyclones can actually tear through those.
That's a little bit too dangerous, I guess. So I'm gonna back off from it. Still a game, man. Still a game. herO could try and expand with 400 minerals or warp in 3 stalkers. Okay. I mean, there's not really a right choice here. You all in, you might not win. GuMiho has a lot of production. If you expand, you might not win. GuMiho has a lot of production. It's a hard choice to make, but herO's still gonna go with the attack.
Cyclones in the middle are paying attention. They're going to lock on the Oracle. That's really nice because this will take away Revelations from herO, which honestly would have been like the high ground vision he wouldn't normally be able to get. The probe over there dies too. He unloads because the Void Ray is that scary. Yikes.
Yeah.
Can you run a Void Ray? Jesus.
Not bad trade at all. Cyclone and medevac. No damage taken, and GuMiho still has to be a little bit careful, but he's prepared to meet the army. I didn't realize he got a tank. Oh shit.
You're gonna have a hell of a time convincing me that Void Ray was shooting from 6 range, by the way. Like, that's...
This looks like Stim Marine's gonna be enough anyway.
Yeah.
Tank or not.
Hell, he doesn't even need the medevac, but he's got a medevac for it too. So yeah, this just gets so out of hand. herO, I mean, he tried to take a Nexus. I like the idea of what he was attempting to do to recover from this, but again, this feels like it's too far gone. The biggest mistake GuMiho could make right now is not attack and give herO time to recover.
Very odd indeed. Oh boy, herO's not gonna have Blink. I think that would help enough. I mean, he's still gonna be able to scout that GuMiho has in fact not expanded and, you know, stick in the game as long as possible, but it's just not looking too good. Push it.
I don't even know what to say. The tank's moving in. They got quite the firepower.
They don't have to.
No, you're right. They don't have to. There's enough power here, though, through the Marines that the tanks aren't really all that relevant anyways. The Mothership Core, the pylons also get Shrek. And unfortunately, it looks like herO is going to get knocked out here in the semifinals. A great series from him versus Innovation. A not bad one here versus GuMiho either. Again, I really love watching herO play. And, oh no, is this me? No. What just happened?
Doesn't matter.
It was...
Barcodes!
Oh, I think that's Alicia, actually.
Oh, she was barcoding in game?
Maybe? I don't know.
Oh, it's so annoying.
We can't leave the game while this is happening, so it is super annoying. But yeah, we're just you got Crank type and he can't believe what's happening. Oh, Chinese casters. Okay, I kind of forgot that we started getting Chinese casters in the Olimoleague. Last week we had to like actually ask, like, wait, was this person actually supposed to be here? We don't know. But okay, we're gonna go to commercial break, guys. Just since we literally can't do anything else anyways. Look, going back to in-game for a sec. We're still stuck on the in-game screen. So, oh, there's Apollo. Give Apollo some love before we go to commercial. Hey, buddy. I'll see you guys in a bit. We'll get into the other semifinals of Alive versus Deer.